On the onset, I would like to thank Municipal sir, Dr. Songe sir, and each and every one of you assembled here. I am going to split my talk into two areas. The first is observation techniques or the observation skills, and the second is on listening. Before that, I would like to just thank each and every, I can say, wall and corner of this college, because as sir just mentioned, I am a product of this college, and being that, whatever I am doing here, I hope I inspire you to become one like that. So, without entering into much formalities, directly going to the topic, I would like to venture into a audio-visual journey where it will be some bit of entertainment, more of education, and I want you to note down the important things. Okay, because pen and paper, these are the best substitutes for brain. Brain, you have some 6,000 thoughts per day, per person going on in your brain. Just imagine 6,000 thoughts, and one thought which clicks, it makes your character for that day. You cannot rely on your brain to remember each and everything. So I request you to use your pen and paper and just note down whatever is important, because I believe that I am giving you something very important in observation and listening, which you will remember for the rest of your life. Okay? So just to start with, I would like to differentiate between three aspects: seeing, observing, watching, and looking. You see, I have used four words: seeing, observing, looking, and watching. Even though if all these four procedures require an organ called as eye, all these four aspects are totally different. So let's just see first what is seeing. Whenever you see something, you just receive an image. Okay, you require an eye for that. Sense organ required for that is an eye. The word see just merely means capturing. Just you capture a photograph in the camera. It will just capture an image. Like for example, when I am there, maybe the first question which would have arisen in your mind was, who is Shivaita? Is he a man, a woman, an old man, a young man? So you just saw that, yes, he is just one man who is going to deliver a lecture. Okay, second, you have captured it. Then you have not paid attention to much of the details of that object or a person or a thing. You are just seeing it. Looking, you just see. Seeing is just the passive function of eye. When you look for something, you have a sense, you have a feeling. Okay? Now you see, in the previous slide, when I say seeing, you just see the sea. And here looking, you take a deep, it's not deep, it's just a visual pleasure of the sea. I am explaining this for context with respect to a phenomenon called as sea. Samundar, sea. So you see, when you look at the sea, when you sense a feeling, you are delighted. You feel happy. Oh, what a beautiful sea this is. The color of the water is blue. Finish. There you end it. You don't venture much deeper into that. Your sight is accompanied by a sense of feeling. And that feeling is with respect to the object or the person or the thing which is in front of you. After seeing, you look. Then the third aspect. The third aspect is watching. When you watch something, again you see you are not having or trying to get a detailed information, but you are just trying or waiting for something. When you are waiting for something, you are expecting something. You watch for a bus in a bus stand, you wait and watch for the railway to come and appear for your services on a railway station. In the sea, again my example here is sea. In the sea, a national whale and dolphin watch is being made. Bird watching, fish watching, whale watching, and they are watching. They are watching with a specified purpose. They are watching with a specified aim, and they are looking only for one object, and that is a pre-intended object, the whale here. So to watch means to anticipate or to expect something which will come into your sight. Again, you don't have much knowledge of watching. See, when you are doing something, when you are reading, whether you are looking to the matter, whether you are just seeing the matter, whether you are watching the matter, it makes a lot difference in your performance. when you perform for the examination, when you perform for your life, all these things have huge meaning. Now the most important of them all is observing. Again see the sea, example is sea. When you want to observe the sea, you go for a scuba diving, you go for a deep sea diving, and you come to some conclusions. Okay, you are not only just delighted, maybe then it's a mixed emotion. It comes in what you can say combination. By observation, it has a very deep meaning. When you observe something, can anybody tell me what do you require to observe? Which organ of the body do you require to observe? It's not the eye, it's the brain. Okay, you have your own perspective, it's called as a perspective, angle, your own angle of observing the things with a very deep meaning. Aim is to gain knowledge, wisdom, and you come to a conclusion. You make use of your mind. That is what observation is all about. It totally differs from looking, watching or seeing. Okay, now you have to develop observation skills. When you talk about observing some things, it is not passive, it is totally active. Not only requires the eyes. Last week we celebrated Swami Vivekananda's anniversary. I would like to tell you, he was the one person who used to close his eyes in the class. Anytime when he was sitting, Swami Vivekananda always closed his eyes and he used to observe what the things were taught, and he used to go ahead of what the teacher used to teach. That is observation. You make use of your mind along with the feeling you sense that you have observed something very deep. Okay, now I will tell you some techniques, I will teach you some points how to become more observant. You see, there is again a difference between a mere observer and someone who is called as an observant. Observant, try to understand. Servant, he functions. Observant, he functions. Observer, he just looks, watches or sees. But an observant is a person who uses his brains. Being observant, what are the advantages and how to be observant, I will tell you in the next slide. Why to be observant? Just imagine, if you are observing something with much more finer details, then definitely you will be the smartest person amongst your group. You will have the more information, you will have more knowledge as compared to rest of them. Noticing little details. When you see, there are many things. The whole world is a dynamic world. Huge functions are going out. When you go through minute details, it gives more information and it will help you in making better decisions. So, decisions. Do you know when we judge somebody as intelligent, intellectual and wise? Three different things are there. These are three different things. Intelligent. Everybody believes that he is intelligent in some area or the other. Even a cycle puncture repairer is more intelligent than you because you can't repair your own cycle when it is punctured, right? It's as simple as that. He is more intelligent than you. Intellectual, definitely he is not an intellectual person because his language is different from your language. His culture of behaving is different from your culture. You are an educated person and you behave differently. You behave as an intellectual. But then above this comes wisdom. Someone who is wise. What is wisdom? Can anybody tell the difference between intelligence, intellectual and wisdom? I will tell you. I will not take much of your time. I will tell you. See, tying a rope between two biggest buildings of the world and walking on that is courage. Okay, courage. Now, what is intelligence or intellectualism? To decide whether to do or not. Okay, is intelligence. Taking your capacity into consideration and thinking whether I should do it or not is intelligence. What is wisdom? Not doing that is wisdom. I'll tell you. Because what would be your mother and father's decision? Think about it. The mother will always say no, don't do it. That is wisdom. For mother's sake, when you don't do it, that is wisdom. So to acquire wisdom, you have to have observation skills. Observation is very important. Next point, to avoid hazards in life. Hazards, potential hazards, occupational hazards. Hazards are there in every aspect of life. When you are walking, I will tell you, last week my 24-year-old friend, I am 42, but 24-year-old friend fell down in a bathroom. 24, what's his age? he broke his bone which is there, burst out. Now he is impaired for the rest of his life. The best of the doctors all over the world could not repair him. A hazard, accident. But if he was more observant about the slipperiness of that bathroom or some common sense, where observation skills were there, he could have avoided that. You cannot let everything put on the fate. Don't just say that it's fate. No, your observation skills will lead you to the second point which I am saying. You can avoid an accident, you can avoid an hazard in your life, right? And lastly, you can never become a good observant if your mind is always wandering. I always say it to my students, when you are sitting in the class, is your mind in roaming or fixed? If it is in a roaming mode, you will never get any message. No messages in the roaming mode. Even if you get message, it will be charged very heavily. Okay, so your minds should never be in the roaming mode. You should always fix it to the speaker, to the notebook, to the book which you are reading, and you can gain more knowledge. So if you are currently right now, if you are the kind of a person whose mind wanders, gets drifted into space, then you are the person who needs this lecture the most. So I will just try to explain this in 6 steps. Okay, 6 steps. Of course, there are many more steps, but taking into consideration the time constraint, I have brought down into 6 vital and important steps how to become more observant. Try to understand the word observant. I am not speaking of a mere observer, right? The first and foremost, focus. You have to focus on your job. You have to focus on your work, what you are doing. Okay? Focusing is pinpointing something. Maybe in our literature, Mahabharata, what Arjuna did for that parrot's eye, he focused on the parrot's eye. Just like that, you have to focus on what's going around you. You have to focus from your head rather than the eyes. Your head and brains are needed the most. Okay? If you are daydreaming, then you are not connected to the world. Daydreaming, mind is always in roaming. Don't let your mind be in the roaming mode. We always do what you are intended to do. What you are supposed to do right now here, know your job. Your job is to gain knowledge in observation skills. Think each and every second of the time you are sitting in the class whether my purpose is being solved or not. Okay? So if you are daydreaming, then you are not connected to the world around you and you are not noticing the little details. Wake up. Most of the time we go in a lag phase and sometimes we sleep. Some students literally sleep. Some students, they just nod their hand and sleep in the minds, giving the speaker a picture that I am very observant. But a speaker knows whether you are observant or not. So don't do that. Wake up. And if you are still struggling to pay attention, it happens. Sometimes there are factors. You didn't have your breakfast, you didn't have your lunch, maybe in the night you didn't have a proper nap. All this contributes to the phase of not being observant, and this will take away the attention. In that case, if you are still struggling to pay attention, then give yourself some tasks. What is the task? Maybe I am speaking, go into each and every detail of what I am speaking. Whether my points are really helpful to you or not. Like that. You can count on the things you see. Listen out for everything. Whatever is being said, try to capture each and every word. Okay, and this is called as focusing. There is a second aspect of focusing. See the cartoon. It is not the lack of focus, but not knowing what to focus. If you are focusing on the sound of the fan, as I said, listen to each and every sound. You are focusing to the fan, chirping of the birds, some bell ringing over there, then again you are not focusing. You are focusing, but focusing on the wrong area. A small story I would like to tell you on focusing. In Japan, this is a real story. In Japan, there was a factory which used to manufacture soaps, and they had a small carton pack for soap boxes. In one of the cases, they have a very good consumer complaint forum. Even if you complain there, they are very serious in taking action, and they may give you soaps for the rest of the life for free if you have a very good complaint. So their R&D is very strong. One of the consumer like you got an empty box. He complained. They had to give him huge remunerations. Then what happened? Then R&D. This thing should not happen in the future. Design something. They spent millions of rupees designing a X-ray machine which will scan each and every box as it passes. Okay, but then there was a rival company who did everything for half the cost, and they claimed that we will never give any empty boxes, and we have a much more stronger R&D, research and development. How this thing happened? The company manager of this company went there and saw it. They did nothing. They just put a table fan there as the boxes were going. What happens? If there is an empty box, it will blow away. No X-ray machine needed, nothing. They focused on the problem. Came out with a solution. Simple solution, put a table fan. As the boxes are moving, if it's an empty box, that will just blow away. Simple. So that is focusing. Okay. Let's move on to the next one. This is very important. Be methodological. There are two words in English. Both are correct. You can refer the Oxford Dictionary. Methodological, methodical. It's either methodical or methodological. Both are same. So I use this be methodological because there is a method and a logic involved in it. There has to be a method and a logic. So there is a methodology. I say that even there is a methodology even in madness. अगर कोई पागल होता है तो एक दिन में नहीं होता है, स्टेप वाइज में होता है. एक मेथोडोलॉजी है उसकी. हमको लगता है कि क्या पागल के जैसा कर रहा है, कल तो अच्छा था, नहीं है. There is a methodology even in madness. I want you to use that methodology for the positive aspect of your life. Be methodological. Think of a way. Whenever you have some situation, examination is there, 15 days, you are not studied, now haphazardous situation, tension, then whatever Dr. Anand Deshpande said yesterday, that thing, suicide and all that. No need. Tell me. I believe on yourself. Design a methodology. You have 24 hours per day. Do something. You see, that man in the picture always felt that Rubik cube was not his cup of tea. I can never solve it. So he decided to do something different. He designed a methodology where to thousands of Rubik cubes, and you have Martin King Luther's picture made out of just assembly of the Rubik cubes. A methodology was designed. Did anybody think that Rubik cubes could be used for designing a picture? He did that. You can see the whole room was filled with this. A methodology. In science we believe in methodologies. We never believe in fate or something, because let's say you have a reservation. You go to a station, the station train is leaving in front of you. What do you do? What do? You should have plan B ready. Plan B ready. Plan B is methodology. There are 26 alphabets. I just recommend plan B. Not C, D, E like that. That will not help you in your life. Okay. So plan B is methodology. But again, while designing plan B, see the cartoon. It should be perfect. Don't design a methodology where you will fall in the pit. Okay. That also is a methodology, but the wrong methodology. Okay. Can anybody answer this question in a second? Mr. and Mrs. Jones went for a picnic. Couple has 5 sons. Remember, 5 sons. Each son has 7 sisters. 5 sons, each 7 has 7 sisters, who have 3 babies. In total, how many people went? Calculate fast. You are people of commerce, you know how to calculate. Confident answer? One confident answer? 28. My dear friend, is the wrong answer. Only Mr. and Mrs. Jones went for the picnic, 2 people. Only 2 people went for the picnic. This is a waste data. This data is not important. It said that they have so many sons and siblings. Be observant. Be an observant person. Are you getting the humor in this? Are you getting it? Mr. and Mrs. Jonas went for a picnic. Finish. That sentence is important. In total, how many went for a picnic? Only 2. The couple has. It's mentioned that they went for the picnic? No. It's a data where it's being said that they have that. Be observant. This thing happens in your examination. You think that I have written very nicely, but why I am not getting marks? Because the examiner is more observant than you. Okay. So don't let that happen. Third step in being observant is engage with what you see. Get yourself engaged. If you can think out of the box, if you can see something different in the situation which is normal. In the next slide, I will show you a photograph of a person who took photographs of moon. When you see a moon, I don't know what you see, but I will show you what that photographer saw. Engage, get engaged in what you see, get involved in yourself what you see. Okay? Like, for example, don't just look at the things, rather than think about the bigger picture. Think about the bigger picture. When you get engaged in yourself, you will be so involved in it that you will forget the rest of the things. It has to become, you can achieve that by practice. It is a practice achieved by practice and practice and practice. Okay, a perfection achieved by practice. Think about the bigger picture, think out of the box. Now you see this picture, a moon. Just see what the photographer observed. We all observe the moon, but you just see how he observed. Here in the first picture, he has kept his feet. He is sleeping and kept his feet just like a ball on his feet. See the variety which he has done. Think big. Why not can you throw a noose on the moon? You can. It has been done. Why can't you climb a ladder on the moon? It has been done. Think out of the box. Be observant. Maybe this photographer has spent many a days like observing the moon. Many things came in his mind and few things he exercised. Okay? So this is when he got engaged into his work, he got out of the box concepts. Okay? And each and everything, thinking out of the box, doing something of your capacity has its own dividends. You will get rich dividends. You will get paid for that. Again, a small story I would like to narrate here. A doctor always used to take his car to the maintenance in his garage. That garage mechanic always felt that my work is equivalent to the doctor's work. One day he said, I do the same work as you do, then how that you get so much paid huge amounts? The doctor inquired, how is that? Can you explain? Mechanic said, you open the body, do some maintenance, I also open the engine, I make up maintenance, overhauling, closed engines, I just open up and it gives you good average, good mileage, you increase the life of the people, it's one and the same. Then how come that I am getting less payment? Doctor says one thing, try doing the same with the engine on. Think about it. Okay, he says, a mechanic always turns the engine off and then works. Whereas doctor, he has a live engine, live body, he does everything, transplants, etc. So you have to get engaged into it. Be observant. You have developed, then you will develop your own skills, and these skills will lead you to rich payments. Okay. Then use peripheral vision. What is peripheral vision? I would like to tell you two aspects of this. One is practical aspect. Second is a philosophical aspect. Peripheral vision is, we human beings, we have eyes on our head to focus and we have a vision limitation. Like for example, if you can do like this, two thumbs in front of you, see in between the thumb, keep it moving like this. Still I can see my hands, thumb. Okay, if I just rotate my vision, I can see it. Then I do like this. Now whatever I do, I cannot see my thumb. This is the peripheral vision. This is the vision which is limited to me. Okay, this much. Unless and until don't rotate my head, I cannot have a vision of the thumbs with my rotating eyeballs. This is peripheral vision. So, nature has given you some things. If I want to see this, now my aim is not my thumb, I can just do like this and see. Just needs to rotate your feet on the ground. You have a rotating head, you have rotating eyeballs, you have a rotating waist which I can use, you have rotating feet. See, whether you are observing with all the techniques, all the facilities which are available to you or not, that is what peripheral vision is. Yesterday again I would like to tell you, I was just observing Mr. Deshpande's lecture. He said about the dog. The dog observed the tiger with the peripheral vision, he said. पीठ थी उसकी शेर के ऊपर और उसने ऐसा देखा उसको. What is the difference? It is sensing, it is observing. You see here, rabbit has eyes on the side of the head. If your eyes were here, then you would have a wider vision. Okay, like that. We don't have it. Rabbit has eyes on the side of its head because it can see the danger approaching. Now, if you by your brain can use a peripheral vision, if you can develop a peripheral vision, you can broaden your sight. And broadening the sight gives you a vision of the danger. So, failure to use peripheral vision means that you will be observant only what is in front of you, not of the wider vision. This now is a practical aspect. Now I would like to tell you about the philosophical aspect or the more educational part of it. That is, when you use your peripheral vision in academics, you will start to see wonderful things in that subject. I will give you an example. See this. Have you ever seen the mathematics table like this? 9 ones are 9, 9 twos are 18, so on 9 tens are 19. But you see it comes from 0 to 9 like this and then 0 to 9 like this. Did you have a vision like this? This is the peripheral vision. A second peripheral, maths people may know it, I am due respects to them, but what I want to say is that there is a second beautiful aspect of that. Each and every numerical adds to 9. You take any numerical, 6 plus 3 is 9, 5 plus 4 is 9, 3 plus 6 is 9, 7 plus 2 is 9, everything is 9 in a 9 table. That is a peripheral vision. Again, I would like to go one more step ahead of that. This is 10. When I do this, let this be 0 and this be 9. When I do like this, let this be 1 and rest be 1 and 8. 1 and 8. Okay, so like that, see, 9 ones are 9. 9 twos are 1 and 8. 18. 1 and 8. समझ में आ रहा है? 1 and 8. 9 threes are 9 fours are 3 and 6, 36. 9 fives are 4 and 5, 45. 9 sixes are 5 and 4, 54. 9 sevens are 6 and 3. 9 eights are 9 nines are 9 tens are. Yet more another vision, you think about it. Have you ever thought about this vision? This is peripheral vision in academics. You have a vision of multi-dimensional perspective and then you get novelty in that. You go on getting new things in that, right? So this is, teachers will never teach you that. You will have to explore the things of what you have learnt in here in the college. As I always say, military people, they have training in some ground, wall-ridden ground. Does the same situation arise in the border or somewhere where they fight? No. You are just being trained to do that. You learned bicycle in your childhood days. Did you? Yes. Due to that you can fly a plane one day, I say. For flying a plane you need to know how to ride a bicycle. Right? So in your college you are just taught how to ride a bicycle. And we want you to fly the plane. So that is what a peripheral vision is all about. Okay. Fifth aspect is practice observation. As I say, practice comes from perfection. You have to practice and practice. Yesterday, why I am giving reference of Dr. Anand Deshpande is a very good friend of mine. We both share many such good incidences. And I will tell you, again repeat you his credentials. He was a good observer of dogs. And he has huge research papers on dogs, which has led him to foreign countries. Just like that, when you see something going on, lot of things goes on in nature, lot of things happens around you. As I say, the world is a dynamic world. There's a dynamic activity going out in nature. The winds, everything from the cycle. I will tell you one small aspect from science. Carbon, I hope everybody knows you have carbon in your body, carbon is there in the fruits, carbon is there everywhere. Carbon which was there thousands of years before, the same carbon is there on the earth today. Whatever carbon is there in my body, it came from dinosaurs maybe. Now when I die, my carbon will go into some tree, it will go into some fruit, somebody will eat it, that carbon will remain the same. Millions and millions of years, the carbon molecule is the same. Such a dynamic activity takes place in nature. My question is, how observant are you? Think about it. Think about it. Nature is such a dynamic activity. You can start with being observant in the class, be observant to your studies, be observant with the matter which you get, and then you can learn a lot of things in your life. Okay, so there are what you can say interdependencies of nature, interdependencies of plants, animals, interdependencies of subjects. When I say, you see, interdependency, we always fight arts, commerce and science. Why a person of science is here speaking in commerce? Think about it. Okay, just because I am observant. I will tell you one thing. I always say it in every forum that arts came first, not science. Art came first. Maybe coming days you are going to have a beautiful lecture of art of living by Menkudale sir. Art came first because man learned how to survive. That is art. Okay. Second came commerce. When he learned how to survive, he learned how to trade. How to trade for the living. Then when he was happy and economically fulfilled and thought of taking a nap under a tree, when the apple fell on his head, then science came. So science is something very secondary and last. Okay. So you see, science is a product of observation of mankind. Okay, first is arts and then commerce and then science. I always say that. So interdependencies of everything, every subject is there. There is nothing called as biology. Everything is physics and chemistry, I say. And whatever the mathematical aspect governs the physics and chemistry, we survive in a field called as biology. Okay. Everything is physics and chemistry. I am a huge chemical molecule standing in front of you. These interdependencies, if you can understand, there is nothing called as commerce. Try to understand. It is a basic tool for survival. You are studying science. You are studying science. By studying commerce, you are studying science. If you can understand that interdependency, if you can become more observant, if you can practice that, if you can bring science into commerce, if you can bring commerce into science, that is what observation is all about, right? So, how to practice? When a cup of tea comes front of you, do you drink it just like that tea? Or can you smell it? Can you tell me from which, whether it's Darjeeling or whether it's Assam or whether it is Junamonda? Can you tell that? If you can tell that, start from there. If somebody gives you a chapati, can you tell which wheat it is? Can you tell which rice it is? Can you tell who cooked the food, whether your mother or aunt, who cooked it food? You can do that. That is nothing but observation, and that will lead you towards a skillful life. Okay? The practice of observing helps you a lot in your life, and it helps you to let go of the fears. You will never fear anything if you are observant. You will never feel insecure. Insecurity will not be lost. Then you will learn to relax. You learn to relax and embrace every part of your life. All this can be achieved only by being observant, not a mere observer. Okay? The sixth part is know what you are looking for. Okay? Know what you are looking for. Practicing, I would like to tell you one thing. Can anybody tell me what is needed for practicing? To practice something, what is the basic requirement? Basic requirement, I will tell you a small story. We are talking about practicing here. I forgot to mention a small story. It's a story about a Buddhist monk, Zen story, I will tell you. A person like you goes for learning martial arts. He says, I want to learn this and this. How much time it will take? The monk says 10 years. The youth is impatient. It's a hot blood. He says, how many hours I will have to work per day? He says 5 hours. 5 hours per day, 10 years. The youth says, I will work for 10 hours a day. If I work for 10 hours a day, how many years it will take? The monk says 20 years. Are you getting the story? The thing which is needed is patience. For practicing, what you need is patience. If you think by working 10 hours a day you can reduce 10 years to 5 years, no my dear friend, it will go to 20 years just because you are impatient. Okay, so the best thing to practice is patience. And then you should know what you are looking for. Most of the time we try to have second-hand information on this aspect. The slide which you are seeing, know what you are looking for. How many of you have a mobile phone which is not a smartphone, but you want to go for a smartphone. Let's say we have a simple phone. Now your urge is to go for a smartphone, Wi-Fi, 3G, touch screen, etc., etc., etc. It's a dream for everyone. We all want that. But how many of you can use the facilities embedded in that? How many of you really know what are the features in that? Do you really know what you are looking for, or you just want a smartphone because you want a smartphone? No. Go for the knowledge. Go for everything embedded in that, and then you will get information. When you gain information, put it down, make comparisons, be observant, and then you will come to a final conclusion like this. Maybe the top 3 models, if you want it, you can see top 3 models, you can see some features, and then you can bring it down to some points, and then you make a decision. Then if I come and say, you have made a decision. Then if I come and say, no, don't go for Samsung, yeah, you go for Micromax. What will you tell? No, I have made my decision. I am observant, I have studied it. It comes from study. It comes from observations. Okay? So this is one thing. And the last and foremost and very important, the most important point in being observant is to listen. That will be my second part of my talk. I will come to that. But remember, the 7th, last but not the least, very important point in being observant is to listen. There always is a difference between seeing and observation. There always is a difference between hearing and listening. Okay, I will come into details about that, and you try to imagine what this listening is all about. I will detail about that. Is there anyone in the class who can read English paragraph very fastly? English paragraph, I will show in the next slide. I want you to read it fastly. Anybody who is a good reader, who reads English books? English books, please come. Please. And you read it. Yeah, I was expecting you only. I was very impressed by you yesterday. Please come. Now you see something very phenomenal is going to happen. Okay? You don't think much about anything. Read whatever comes on the board. You can stand here and read it very loudly. Most of you should have seen this in Facebook or email. But let's see, now just listen how he reads. Okay? My point is observation and the human brain. Your human brain is made up of something very dynamic. It has some prospectus and consequences, pros and cons. Now let's see. Concentrate on his voice. He will be reading the phenomenal power of human mind. Read that. Read.
I couldn't believe that I could understand what I was reading. The phenomenal power of the human mind, according to research at Cambridge University. It doesn't matter in what order the letters in a word wrote are. The only important thing is that the first and last letter be in the right place. The rest can be a total mess, and you can still read it without a problem. This is because the human mind doesn't read every letter by itself, but the word as a whole. Imagine how here and I always thought spelling was important.
Very good, thank you. Please be seated. Do you think not a single alphabet is correctly spelled there? Not a single alphabet is correct. Only the first letter and the last letter are in the correct position. This is a research. This is a research by Cambridge University, and as you can see now if you want to read, I will read it. See, I couldn't believe that I could actually understand what I was reading. You see, my mind, it's reading it. Okay. The phenomenal power of the human mind, according to a research at the Cambridge University, it doesn't matter in what order the letters in a word are. The only important thing is that the first and last letter be in the right place. You see the speed in which I am reading. Okay. Then the rest can be a total mess and you can still read it without a problem. Okay. This is because the human mind does not read every letter by itself, but the word as a whole. You never read every letter. You read the word as a whole and you understand it automatically. You are never taught that, but you see how fantastically he read it. And amazing, huh? You see it's written. Yeah, and I always thought that spelling was important. Spelling was never important. This is your brain. This is your mind. Okay? And we always have observation bias. Is this 1 or is this 7? See that. See the answer. See the answer. This is biasness. Whatever you are saying is correct. That is observation. That is your observation. There is nothing. What you are saying, each every one of you, don't debate. If you are saying 7, that is 7. If you are saying 1, that's 1. For you, that it is. Because it's your observation. Okay. This is called as observation biasness, and it differs from individual to individual. And whatever you think is right, whatever you think for that present situation is right. That don't conflict, don't go over here and there to see whether I am right or wrong. Okay, so you are right. This is what. Now can you tell me what this picture signifies? Within 6 seconds, if you cannot see 6 dolphins, you are thinking it wrong. There are 6 dolphins here. This is 1 dolphin, this is 2nd dolphin, 3rd dolphin, 4th dolphin, 5th dolphin, 6th dolphin. This is the first dolphin, 2nd dolphin, the 3rd dolphin, 4th dolphin. Show this picture to a child, a small child. He will never think what you are thinking, because that program is never there in your brain. He will always say, yes uncle, there are 6 dolphins there. This is brain. This is how you program it. Okay? Now just see, is it moving? Go home, relax, your brains are very stressed today. It's not moving. Just go home, if it's moving, then you are very much stressed today. It's not moving. Just focus on something which is moving. Is it moving? No. Is it moving? Go home. Take a sleep. You are deprived of sleep. Nothing is moving there. See again. See what is moving. You will see it's not moving. Your brains are made like that. Your brains are made like that. Same. It's not moving. Simply it's very static, stable. It's moving. Just see what is moving. It will stop. It's your brain. It's your brain which is in a dynamic state. Nothing is moving there. It's a simple picture, plain picture. See again. Do you really think it's moving? It feels like it's moving. It's not moving. Same here again. Nothing is moving. Your brains, because it's stressed, it feels like it's moving. So be a better observer than a mere onlooker. Don't be a simple onlooker. Be an observer. Okay? There are 2 types of observations: qualitative observations, quantitative observations. Quantitative, where you get a numerical value. When you observe something, how much is the cost of a TV? That is, you go for observing the various rates, you go studying the various rates. That's a quantitative observation. Qualitative is something which is based upon characteristics. Qualitative which is based upon quantitative based upon numericals. 2 methods are followed, scientific. One is observational method, one is experimental method. Experiment depends upon control and test, whereas observation depends upon studying, observing, analyzing on site, in situ. You go to the actual position, whereas scientific method, experimental, is everything in the laboratory. Okay? So I have a few slides where let's check your observation skills. Okay? Fine. Now I will give you a slide. I want you to write down. I will give you only 2 seconds for that slide. I want you to write down what's there in the slide. Okay? And randomly I will check a couple of those who have written. I will check two notebooks. So just 2 seconds I will give. 1, 2. Finish. Did you write it down? I said be observant. Be observant. Okay, I will give you 2 more seconds. 1 and 2. Write it down. Okay, I'll see that. I'll see that. Mary had a little lamb. Okay. 1 second. Mary had a little lamb. Anybody more? Anybody there? Anybody there? I'll check too. Mary had a little lamb. He read. No. Then. Mary had a little map. He wrote. Mary had a little map. Mary had a little lamp. Mary had a little lamb. He wrote. Mary had a little lamp. Mary had a little lamp. And Mary had written down. Okay. Mary had a little lamb. I have two people who had written Mary had a little lamb. Okay. I read everybody's. Okay, we just check. There are only two people who wrote had twice. That person wrote had twice, but he wrote the rest of it wrong. Now you see, Mary had a little lamb. You're correct there. It's correct. There, tried correct. We never. Our brain works faster than the eyes. This is what I want to tell you. Your brain, it works faster than your eyes. Okay? And you utilize that. What I want to say is that I want you to utilize that. Okay? You see, you don't find much difference here. But these two people, your brain is designed to function in a right or a wrong way only. But still I will tell you. अभी आप थोड़ी देर और देखेंगे तो आपको थोड़ा लग रहा है कि आंखों में प्रॉब्लम है. मैं फिर भी आपको चैलेंज देता हूं कि मैं इसको जब सीधा करूंगा तो आपने सपने में भी नहीं सोचा होगा कि ये कैसा दिखता है, क्योंकि आपके दिमाग में वो फंक्शनिंग है ही नहीं, आपके दिमाग में वो प्रोग्रामिंग है ही नहीं. See here, our brains are programmed for normally right side up. Okay, I'll flip the picture and you will see now. Did you observe this when it was like this? See here, when it was like this, does it look like this? No. It's better. This picture is much more better. Believe me, your brain is designed to see good things. Don't see the bad things. Okay. So you can see here. Now see. You see. It's horrible. Okay, it's horrible. So your brains are designed to observe certain things. What I want to say is that be a positive observant of the things. Okay. In the next series of the slide, I will show you 4 letters written red, orange, blue, purple and green. It's written. I want you to tell the color, don't read the letters. Anybody volunteer who can read it? I want you to color सांगायचं. Tell the color. Be observant for the color, not the alphabet. I will give you very short time. You just keep on telling. कौन से color है? ये याद कर लो चाहिए तो. Red, orange, blue, purple, green color आएंगे. वो color बोलना है. Okay? Ready? Who will read it? Who wants to read it? Nobody. I have my favorite guy there. Is there anybody? Okay. Come here. You just be fast in reading it. Okay. Don't read the letters. Color सांगायचा. Color कोणते? Red, orange, blue, purple, green. Come on. Fast.
Red, orange, blue, purple, green.
What did he say? That is not what I asked. Come on, let's go again. Color सांगायचा. Color. One second. What is happening? Think. What is happening? Mind is working. Eyes are working. but something is happening in the middle which is confusing. Now I will make it simpler. Let's make it simpler. Now let him color सांगायचा. Now see, color सांग. हाँ. You have to tell the color. Again, tell the color. Very good. Please sit down. Very good. How this thing happens now? Why it was easy in the last part? Because you couldn't read the words. It were topsy-turvy, upside down. So your brain switched off. I don't want to read it. Then your eyes visualize the color, and now it becomes very easy to say purple, yellow, red, green, and blue. Okay, you say like that, right? Now the next slide. What are you observing here? Is there anything unusual? Be observant. Is there anything unusual? Is there anything unusual? Can you see a man's face? Can you see a man's face? See here. See here. Is there a man's face? There is a man's face. Okay. So your brain tricks you something when there is a whole lot of crowd. Okay. Okay, so I would like to tell you one statement here. In life, there always is a situation where there is majority of nonsense around you. Okay, and you decide that I will keep quiet, I will do nothing. You feel that it's better to be in the majority of fools than be wise alone. Okay, time comes in your life where you think that all are fools. What will happen with my one decision? So it's better to be in the majority of fools than to be wise alone. But I will tell you, be observant. As an intellectual, as a wise man, you should not do that. Don't be in the majority of the fool. Be an individual. Okay? Be observant. Now in the next slide, I want you to tell me the word. Which word is there? I want you to tell me which word comes. Which is the word? Lift is correct. You can see lift. The white mark says the word lift. Okay. You can see this lift. L-I-F-T. L-I-F-T. That is what you have to develop your brains. You have to become more observant. And I would like to tell you, if you see through the eyes of a child, बिल्कुल एक छोटा बच्चा जैसा सोचता है, उसको हर चीज में मैजिक दिखता है या नहीं? If you could see the world through the eyes of a child, we would see magic in everything, and I want you to do that. Now, the last part of observation, then I will move to listening. I am going to show you the inside of a wristwatch. wristwatch खोल के पुराना अंदर का कुछ पार्ट दिखा रहा हूँ. मैं 3 सेकंड दिखाऊंगा, उसमें क्या क्या दिखता है आप मुझे बोलेंगे. 3 सेकंड दिखाऊंगा, बी ऑब्जर्वेंट. ओके? First tell me how many objects? How many objects? 3. 4. Please stand up. Please stand up. No. 5 वाला बताइए कौन से 4. ओके. उसमें 4 है क्या 5 है? 5 वाले है क्या कोई? अच्छा 4 जो बोल रहा है कौन से 4 ऑब्जेक्ट्स है? Who can tell? Yes. A guitar, a cycle, a man, an Eiffel Tower, and spoons, plates, and forks. Okay? So you see, there are 6 things in that. A guitar, a bicycle, a tower, a plate, a fork, and a man. Okay? This is what observation is all about. This is observation skills. This is how you have got to have observation skills. Okay, so this is the end of part 1. I hope you have some. Now I hope from here onwards in your life you will change your aspect of looking towards the thing. You will not just have only looks. Looks are deceptive, appearances are deceptive, observation will make you wise. So change your thoughts from here onwards, observe the things. Okay, now let's move on to listening. This is the second very important aspect of communication where it bridges observation. If you can